Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at ChicnScratch, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make 4 cards and a box using this one sheet of designer series paper. This paper is in the holiday catalog, and it is called the Season of Cheer designer series paper. Here's the other side. Okay, so we're going to be using 2 colors of ink, Real Red and Mossy Meadow. We're using 1 stamp set, Your Presents. So what we're going to do first is actually cut our designer series paper to make all of our cards. So we're going to place it here on the trimmer, and the first cut that I'm going to make is at 4 inches. Make sure I get that lined up. I'm going to cut with the darker gray blade, that's the cutting, and then I'm going to cut again at 4 inches. And that leaves me with another 4-inch strip. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these 4 by 12 strips. I'm going to cut at 5 1/4 and 5 1/4, and then I'm going to do that on the next strip. So 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. These 4 pieces are going to be for our cards, and then this piece is going to be for our box. Okay, so the base of our card is Mossy Meadow, and what we're going to do is cut these in half at 4 1/4. And now I've got my Simply Scored scoring tool, and I'm going to score this, all 4 of these, at the 5 1/2 inch mark. Okay, now we're done with this. Okay, I'm going to be using my bone folder today. Let's see, let's fold these. And one more. Now, one of the reasons I like using the bone folder is because it then allows me to fold that card flat, okay? It makes it easier to work with. The inside of our card is Whisper White. I've gone ahead and cut that, so you get 4 of them out of 1 sheet of paper. They measure 5 1/4 by 4, and they're just going to go right inside just like that. So we'll go ahead and attach those. I'm going to put adhesive on 2 at a time. Okay, there's the first one. And the second one. Okay. A couple more and we'll be done with that part. And now this one. Now we're going to do the exact same thing with the designer series paper. So we're just going to place our adhesive on this side. And again, I'm going to do 2 at a time. There's the first one. I love seeing how much mileage I can get out of 1 sheet of paper. Okay, while I'm adding this, I'll go ahead and tell you I have a couple other One Sheet Wonder videos that's going to cover the same pack of Designer Series paper and the same stamp set. So you'll be seeing that in the future. Okay, so now the next layer is Mossy Meadow, and this measures 4 1/4 by 3, and we're going to place it right here on the front. We're not going to do that just yet because we're going to stamp Joy on these 4 pieces. The Whisper White measures 4 by 2 3/4. So we're going to go ahead and get our Mossy Meadow ink open. And we want to stamp Joy at the bottom. I have to make sure I don't have it upside down, and I did, so it's a good thing I checked myself. So I'm just going to stamp 4 of these. Okay, I can close that ink pad up. And I'm going to set these aside for just a minute. And then now we've got 4 pieces that measure 2 1/2 by 1 1/2. And I'm going to get out some scrap paper here to stamp on top of, so I don't stamp on my desk area here. Okay, this is going to be really fun. We're taking the stripes and the present image, taking our real red ink pad, and what we're going to do is we're only going to ink up this image. Okay, this is called the kissing technique. So I'm going to line these up. Well, actually, I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm only going to do one at a time. So I'm going to ink up this image, and then I'm just going to kiss it to that one, and then stamp. Now it's okay if it's not completely straight because we're going to cut this out, okay? Now I'm going to do the exact same thing, except in between I want to clean my image. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and clean both images so that way we get it nice and clean. So I'm going to ink up the stripes and kiss it. And there's the second one. Again, I'm going to clean these in between each time. This technique has been around a long time, and it has been a long time since I've done it. They demonstrated it at convention, so it reminded all of us to use this technique, especially on this stamp set. Okay, last one. So ink up the stripes and kiss it. They actually made like a kissing sound at convention. Okay, I'm going to clean these up, and then we'll get back to making the card. Okay, so now we're going to cut out the present. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut just shy of the image on all 4 sides. Okay, there's the first one. You start to look at these stripes and your eyes can cross on you a little bit. I had to blink there for a second. This is the third one. So we have one more after this one. Okay, so here's one of the presents that I made in advance to show you how to do it, or to show you the back side. So we're going to be using glue dots. I have found that this is really the easiest way, and it's really fast, or I think it is. Okay, so I'm going to take the tip of the ribbon, and I'm going to fold it across just like that. I'm going to take my scissors, and then I'm going to take another glue dot. Did I get it? Yeah, I did. And so I'm going to fold that over, and I'm folding it right over that existing line. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Fold it over and trim, and then put a glue dot on this one. Now you could use Scotch tape if you want to, but I swear using the glue dots just makes it so easy. Okay, there's the first one. Now we're going to just make a little bow out of one piece. If you saw my Stampin' Basics video series, in there I showed you how to tie a bow, and if you haven't seen it, head over to my ChicnScratch website and sign up on my mailing list, and you will get 10 Stampin' Basics videos. And I appreciate all the compliments. That was pretty fantastic, so if you sent me an email thanking me, thank you. Okay, so there's the present. So now we're going to do that to the other three. Okay, so glue dot. This really doesn't take that long, so I'm just going to go ahead and do every step in the video. I want you guys to see how long it really does take to get 4 cards and a box made. You can see I messed that one up earlier. I always say, thank goodness our paper's two-sided. I love it. If you mess up on one side, just flip it over. And our thick Whisper White cardstock, if you haven't tried that stuff, it is so fantastic. No joke. Okay, almost done with the second one. I missed the glue dot on this one, so I'm just going to take a glue dot right there. And what I'll do is I'll do the bows in just a minute. So this is like a little assembly line. The ribbon comes in the same pack with the red, so it comes with green and red. I'm trying to think of the name of it right this second. I don't know it. Yeah. It's just because the new catalog has just started, so I haven't made myself familiar with all the names yet. Okay, one more, and then we'll have the cross ribbon done. I don't think I got a glue dot on that one. Get a glue dot. Okay, so now we're going to make the bows really quickly. That one was a little crooked. Okay, so I'll just tie the bows, and then after I get the other 3 made, actually I only need to make 2 more because I've already got one that I had made in advance. So we'll set this one aside, and then we only have to do one more. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to attach this with a glue dot right there. That bow's a little big. I probably should have trimmed it a little bit more. Once you add a glue dot to the back, it's a little hard to make it smaller. Okay, now this one. This one's the right size, actually. Okay, now we're going to place dimensionals on the back. Uh-oh, that one's going off the edge. I like to put 2 because of the ribbon. Anytime it has a little bulk to it, I like to add more than 1, okay? So this piece is going to get attached to there, and then you're going to attach the bow, okay? So we can go ahead and attach these now. They've dried, so we're ready. I'm going to do all 4, and then we'll attach the presents. Okay, last one. Okay, so just peel the backing off of the dimensional and add it right here in the middle. And you can stamp the joy down a little bit closer to the bottom. It'll be okay that I stamped it a little higher up. I think this one's a little lower. It is, yep. And the last one. Okay, so now we're going to take some rhinestones and we're going to add 1 to the joy. I just couldn't resist adding. Okay, we've got 1 more rhinestone. Now, to attach this to our card, we're just going to use our dimensionals again. So I'm going to flip this over and just put 1 in each corner. That should be fine. Sometimes I attach them in all 4 corners, but to save a little bit of money, you can just put them in opposite corners of each other. Okay, they're sticking to me. Okay, so peel the backing off. And just center it. Isn't that awesome? Okay, I'm going to finish the other 3 because then we've got our box to make. And if my memory serves me correctly, I have either 4 or 5 that we're going to make with 1 sheet of paper using the same pack of DSP. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so now we're ready. We've got our 4 cards made. Now we're going to make our box. Again, this piece measures 12 by 4. And I'm going to place it here on the Simply Scored scoring tool. We're going to score it at 1 inch. Is that right? Yep, 1 inch on all 4 sides. I hope I didn't jump the track on that. It looked like I did. I think I did. Again, 1 inch. It'll be okay because this is my sample. Then we're going to put it back here in landscape mode. I'm going to score it at 5.5 and 6.5. Again, I am using my bone folder in this project. It does help to get your edges nice and crisp. You could use your fingernail if you want to. And 2 more. Okay, so now let's take our scissors. We're going to do some cutting now. I just need to fix this where I did that, where I jumped the track. Okay, so you're going to cut up to the score line and give that a little trim, and give this a little trim. Now we're just going to move to the left, okay? So same thing. I'm going to cut up to the score line, cut up to the score line, and I'm going to trim the right, trim the left, and trim a little on the bottom, okay? Then continue to move down to the left. Do the same thing to this one. A little to the right, a little to the left, and at the bottom. That side's done, so we're going to repeat the process on the next side. So cut up to the score line, trim a little, and cut the bottom. Moving down to the left, repeat the process. So trim a little off the right, a little off the left, and a little on the bottom. And our last one, you don't have to trim to the left and to the right. It just sometimes helps to assemble. Okay, so now we have our 6 tabs here. So what I'm going to do is get my stronger adhesive, because this is a box and more than likely we will be adding something to it. Tear and tape is perfect for heavier projects. I don't think I've ever used it on a card, but I guess you probably could. And if you'll notice, I'm putting the adhesive on the other side of the tab, okay? That's because those are folding in. Okay, so now I'm going to get out my paper piercer, because I have the polish that I have on my nails is gel polish. I don't have sharp nails. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the backing. I always say that I make this step look a little more difficult than what it is. It's only because I don't have sharp nails. Okay. It's a good thing we're not making 4 of the boxes. Okay. 2 more. Last one. Okay. So I'm going to bring up the sides. I always call this building the wall. And then do the same thing down here at the end. And this side. And now just going to bring this piece into here. And same thing here, okay? So then this is just going to fold over just like that, and there's our box. Now if I had not jumped the track when I was scoring, that wouldn't look a little rough around the edges, but because I jumped the track, it looks a little rough there. Okay, so now we're going to decorate it. We're using Mossy Meadow, and we are still using the Joy Image. Okay, so we're using 4 punches. We're using the 1 3/4 circle punch, the 2-inch circle punch, the the 2 3/8 scallop circle punch, and then the 1-inch square punch, okay? And then we're going to cut it out with the 1 3/4 circle punch. Then we're going to take the 2-inch punch and cut out a Mossy Meadow circle. And then the last one is the 2 3/8, and that is going to be red, real red. Okay, so the Joy one is going to get added with a dimensional. Then this one's just going to get added with regular adhesive. Now while I'm assembling this, head over to my website, leave a comment on the post where I advertise this video, or where I have this video posted, and you'll be entered to win a prize. Okay, so we've got this strip here that measures 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches, and we're going to take the 1-inch square punch, and if you made this thinner you could use the banner punch, but because it measures 3/4 of an inch, it's actually too big to use that punch, so I'm just going to use the 1-inch square punch. Okay, so our scallop circle is going to go on there just like that, but we need to add some more embellishments. So I'm going to take the red ribbon and make a bow. This is going to get attached right down here. You can make it larger, you can make it smaller. Decide before you attach it, because once you add that glue dot, it's kind of hard to change it. So we're going to add it to the front with a glue dot. Then we want to get a pretty rhinestone. And I'm just going to use a glue dot to actually attach the image. Okay, and then we're going to attach that to the box using a couple dimensionals. Okay, so I want to show you my template for cutting. So we cut the cardstock, but I didn't show you my template. So I'm calling this actually template number 1 because I do have several of these I'm going to be doing during the holiday season. So I cut at 4 inches. I cut again at 4 inches. That gave me my 12 by 4 piece for the box. And then it gave me my 4 pieces that measure 4 by 5 1/4. And then these 2 rectangles here are the scraps that we had left over. I've got a number 1 on here, so in the future when I do the next one, I'll have a number 2 and so on. Okay, so this wraps up our One Sheet Wonder class. If you'd like to place an order for any of these projects or download the instruction sheet, head over to my blog at ChicnScratch. Have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye.